Are you wasting time with the wrong equipment in the gym? Because if you're blindly choosing between machines and free weights, the answer is probably yes, and this will be holding back your gains massively. So today we're going to dive into the science that might just flip everything you thought you know about training on its head. If we haven't met before, what's up? I'm Lockie, a final year sport and exercise science student at Oxford Brookes University. I'm passionate about separating facts from bro science and implementing them into actionable training strategies. For years, there's been a never-ending debate for gym goers. Which is better for building muscle and strength? Free weights or machines? Well, I'm here to settle the score once and for all by deep diving into the science and sharing what will help you unlock your true potential in the gym. Regardless of where you are in training experience, this information will be an absolute game changer. So in this video, we're going to break down the key differences between free weights and machines, dive into their impact on hypertrophy and strength, look at what the latest studies say about their effectiveness, and then I'm going to help you choose the right training method for your goals. So let's get into it. So although it may seem obvious, I'm going to break down what makes free weights and machines so different, above what meets the eye. So free weights, like barbells, dumbbells, and kettlebells, force you to stabilize the weight as you go through the motion. This means your body not only has to recruit the target muscles, but also other muscles surrounding the muscle you're trying to target in order to stabilize and provide extra power to that movement. But machines, on the other hand, guide the weight through a fixed path. And this is really helpful because it allows you to focus on the muscle you're targeting without worrying about balance or coordination. And they're particularly useful at isolating these smaller muscles that generally people may struggle to isolate using free weights. So while free weights involve more coordination and stability, machines help you zone in on more specific muscle groups. But how does this actually impact your hypertrophy and strength gains? So let's first jump into muscle growth or hypertrophy. Free weights often result in greater muscle activation. Because you're forced to stabilize the weight throughout the range of motion, your body recruits more muscle fibers. But that may not be particularly good, especially if you're trying to isolate specific muscles, which is generally the main goal during exercises for hypertrophy. For example, studies show that free weight exercises like the squats not only target the quads, but also the hamstrings and the glutes, as well as other stabilizer muscles, which gives you a greater muscle activation. But again, like I said, greater doesn't necessarily mean better, because machines, however, allow you to isolate different muscle groups more effectively. And this isolation can be particularly helpful when you're either nursing an injury or you're trying to bring up lagging muscle groups. So if you're trying to build your quads, instead of doing a squat where you're going to use lots of other muscles as well as the quads, you can just use the leg extension, focus on the growth of your quads, and not worry too much about other muscles within that exercise becoming activated. And as always, there's science behind what I'm stating, because a study showed that both free weights and machines produced very similar overall results of hypertrophy. In fact, a study by Schwanbeck and colleagues in 2020 found no significant difference in muscle hypertrophy over an 8-week period where one group used only machines and one group used only free weights. So what's the bottom line for hypertrophy? And I think the bottom line is they both work, but it's up to you how you want to train your muscles. Because the way that free weights and machines activate the muscle is different. So you should be choosing whether you do free weights or machines based on what your goals are. Do you either want to A, get stronger in general and bigger muscles in general by allowing stabilizers and synergists to take place, which is why you'd use free weights, or do you want to do really specific isolation work for hypertrophy? So then you'd probably use machines. So now let's move on to strength, because this is when it gets really interesting, and I did not realize this was the case. So free weights generally produce greater strength gains when tested against free weight movements like squat, bench, and deadlift. The reason is simple. Free weight exercises demand more from your body in terms of coordination, stability, and motor control. And studies have consistently shown that free weight exercises generally translate better to overall functional strength. Now machines, on the other hand, lead to greater gains in strength when tested using machine movements. And if you haven't put 2 and 2 together yet, you'd realize that you get stronger in free weight exercises by doing free weight exercises, and you get stronger in machine exercises doing machine exercises. So the whole principle is that it's specificity. You get better at what you train. If you train with machines, your body adapts to that resistance and gets stronger in that movement with them particular muscles. But then if you train with free weights, again, your body adapts to the movement and becomes stronger in every place in your body that it needs to. But when you look at the bigger picture, many studies show that there's no significant difference in strength gains when comparing free weights and machines. So this means regardless of the method you use, you can still get stronger. It just depends how you choose to measure it. So if you want to get stronger on machines, do machines. But if you want to get more functional strength or get stronger in your free weight or compound lifts, do free weight compound lifts. So let's jump into some factors you should be considering before you choose to either use A, free weights, or B, machines. Because we know machines and free weights can be effective for both hypertrophy and strength, but how do you actually choose what's right for you? And the first one is training experience. Because if you're a beginner, machines may be a safer option for you. They help you get comfortable with lifting without worrying about coordination, stability, or balance. If you're more experienced, using free weights may help you adapt in terms of coordination and stability, which will generally help you develop more functional strength. But equally, I could flip it on its head and say, beginners should use free weights to help build up them stabilizer muscles and really focus on form the minute you step into the gym for the first time. But I think it generally depends what your goals are, because if you just want to stay fit, you're not too worried about making insane progress, maybe go for machines. They help keep your joints safer, and generally it's just a safer, more stable option for you to use. But if you are wanting to go onto the really big heavy lifts further on down the line, it's potentially a good idea to incorporate free weights as well as machines. So the next factor you should consider is injury risk. This leads on well from the last point, because using machines reduces injury risk by controlling the movement pattern itself. And this is especially useful for people either recovering from injuries or with mobility limitations. But then free weights allow for more natural movement patterns, but then do require a generally stricter form in order to prevent injuries of any type. And the final factor to consider is personal preference, because ultimately the best choice depends on what feels right for you, your goals, and your general preferences. Because it's not everyone else doing your workout, it's you doing your workout. Want to train full body and engage multiple muscles at once? Free weights. Want to do more isolation work and engage specific muscles? Machines. It's really about what's doing right for you, because as we've discovered in this video, there are so many pros and cons to both. It's about weighing up the options and then choosing them based on that. So which is better, free weights and machines? And if you haven't sussed this out yet, I'll let you know, there's no clear winner. Both free weights and machines can help you build strength and hypertrophy, just the way they do it and the way the hypertrophy and strength is displayed is different. So the key takeaway is that the best training modality is the one that aligns best with your goals, your training experience, and your injury considerations. So let's quickly recap what we've covered in this video in case you think you missed something. Free weights engage more stabilizer muscles and demand greater coordination, which can translate to functional strength and muscle activation. Machines isolate muscles and guide movement, which can be great for targeting specific muscle groups and reducing the injury risk. Research shows no significant differences in overall hypertrophy or strength gains between the two, so both are very valid choices, and your choice should depend on your goals, experience, and your risk to injury. So now that you know the truth about free weights and machines, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite training method? Do you completely scrap free weights and machines and just do plyometrics? Let me know. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, let me know in the comments what you enjoyed about the video, and make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. That's all from me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.